Hello and welcome to Gaga Knits. My name's Anita and I live in South Wales in the UK, and you can find me on Instagram and Ravelry as Anita Bowl, and show notes can be found in the description box below. I hope you've had a nice month since we spoke last. It is Saturday the 24th of July today. I usually record on the last Tuesday of the month, but as we had boiling hot weather in the UK last week, and we are set to have it next week, and the weekend is meant to be rainy and grey, which it is, I thought I would take the opportunity of recording while it's not too hot. Today I have some works in progress, and I'd like to share my Christmas in July projects with you. So we'll start off with what I'm working on. I purchased the Susan Crawford book Coronation Knits, and I am working on the twin set jumper, and I am really enjoying this pattern. I am using the yarn is lovely and soft. It's just a cream. It's Drops Alpaca Silk, which is 70% alpaca, 30% silk, and it's a really nice yarn to use. The colourway is 100, which is just cream, and I have completely finished the back. And it's very straightforward. I'm doing everything to the pattern. I'm not changing it or anything. And you've got this really nice detail at the neckline. Let's take that off there. For where it joins with a little button, and it's sort of a mock cable. You can see it a bit better on the front. Oh, my knitting needle is sticking through my knitting. And there's the front. I've done the same. You knit from the bottom up, and then you get to this really nice mock cable detail. And I'm just ready now to start shaping for the neck. I was hoping to get it done before I podcast so I could be wearing it, but I'm recording a few days early, so I haven't been able to. And even though it's 4-ply, it's going really quickly because most of the time it's just plain knitting and purl rows, and just a few increases. Every 5th row you had to increase at each end, so I could just sit and knit, sit and watch the telly or a podcast or something, and it's surprising how many rows I could get through. So that's my main knitting. I've been doing that, even though it's been sweltering. I've been able to work on that quite a lot, but I haven't done any other knitting. I have worked on my crochet, my Plants vs Zombies blanket a little bit, and I was struggling following the chart last time, so I have been crossing them off. So the highlighter pen is the same as crossing off, and then sometimes I've just been actually crossing them off, and that does seem to work better, although it's still a bit confusing. And I have managed to get half a square done this month. Unfortunately, the hot weather just prevented me. I couldn't. It's quite thick, and I just couldn't with all the different yarn ends. So this is going to be a pea shooter. Trying to straighten it up on the screen. There we go. This is going to be the pea shooter, and I think my fabric is much better on this one than my first one. What do you think? Which was I had to learn the corner to corner, and he's not too bad, is he? But I think the fabric on this one is better. Don't know if you can see me, it's a bit hard to show you the two. So practice obviously makes perfect. And my other crochet project I've been working on is in with my Christmas in July project, so I'll explain that later. I haven't been doing any sewing, but I have had a gift of some lovely fat quarters and some fabric remnants from the lovely Dawn, who is a viewer. Thank you very much, Dawn. She watched my last episode where I show you my progress on my cross-stitch tablecloth, and sent me a message and asked where I got the fabric from, because she had an idea she'd like to do something similar for a tablecloth with ideas for her family and things on it. I'm not quite sure what she's going to do. Hopefully she will share it with me. And I said that obviously I'd had the fabric from my sister-in-law in one of those boxes that she sends me, but I did have another large piece of fabric, slightly different but it's sort of tablecloth size, that was within the box, and I wasn't going to use it, and I happily sent it to her if she wanted it. So she said she couldn't just receive that and not send me something back, but she could have, because it was nice to be able to send it to someone and know it was going to get used. But she sent me all these beautiful fabrics, and I have thanked her. So I have some projects in mind for these. It's lovely, so thank you again, Dawn. It's really nice of you, and you didn't have to, but I do appreciate them. So my July month, you'll have seen at the beginning of the episode, I have done the July cross stitch, which is from CrossStitcher magazine, from the New Year one. I can't remember what issue it was now. And I've also done another project from the CrossStitcher magazine. I don't usually buy cross-stitch magazines because I find them quite expensive, but that one and the one I'm going to show you were both out of the Christmassy editions. And if I'm going to buy magazines, it's often around Christmas time because they have the nice patterns. And this was a kit that you got in the November issue of CrossStitcher magazine, and I have done the little sample that came. It was meant to be, this was part 2 of a Festive Stitch along. I think there were other, it might have been like a part 3 maybe, I don't know. So I've tweaked mine slightly because I didn't like the fact that the Christmas pudding was on the floor. Who put their Christmas pudding on the floor? And I changed it a bit. I didn't like that little star, and the gold beads must have been in part 1. I had some red beads, but I just did lots of French knots, so it's good to practice those. And also, this is a kit I finished, so I'll be able to enter it into Karen from Stitches and Jack's make along, which is the S&J finishing kits and whips Mal, I think. So I'm going to enter that into there because that's another kit I have finished. And now we move on to Christmas in July. Now I didn't even know Christmas in July was a thing until a couple of years ago. And if you look on Instagram under the hashtag Christmas in July, you'll see that it means different things to different people. And I thought I would start a new tradition for myself, starting this year, and I would use the Christmas in July hashtag as the start or the focus of my planning for Christmas projects. So things I wanted to make for other people for Christmas. Now, some people said, oh, you're really organised doing that, but it's not really, because being a crafter does take quite a while to make things, and if you've got several things to make, I like to have December quite free just to enjoy. I love the build up to Christmas, and if you've been following me for a while, you'll know that we all caught COVID last Christmas, so we didn't really have a Christmas at all, so I'm looking forward to this one more than usual. So anyway, I had a few gift ideas in mind already, and I sent some messages out to some of my family to ask if there were any items that they would like me to make for Christmas, and I've had a few replies. I Josh said he would like me to make him Christmas dinner. There's always one smart Alec, isn't there? And it's usually him. So anyway, if I was going to do this properly, and I'm going to do this as an annual thing, I thought, to invest some money in this project as well as time. And I've bought myself this box. It's a Christmas Eve box, but I'm going to use it to keep all my projects in. Unfortunately, this one, which end is, well, if you can see, has a bit of damage here. It's from the Yorkshire Trading Company, and I emailed them when I received it and sent them a picture of the damage, and they were really good. The very next day I had an email. They said sorry about the damage. It wasn't their fault, obviously it was the courier who damaged it, and they're sending me out another one because this box was £15, which is quite a lot of money for a cardboard box. But the postage was, I think, £3, and I thought it would come flat packed and you'd have to put it together yourself, but it came like this. And then it's got a nice big, it's a bit hard to show you, catch on the front. And inside then, they've got these little ties to hold the box open. Well, that really sold it for me. Sorry about that. Josh had ordered a new bike wheel and I promised to stay in and wait for it. So I'm in my craft room and everything's around me and the door's pushed shut. I have to try and get everything out because I thought, don't go away with this wheel. Sorry about it, puff down. So anyway, I love my box, and all my Christmas projects are going to be in there. Right, where's my... Oh, I'll just get my bullet journal a moment. I'm still enjoying working with my bullet journal. I haven't done much, and I am not the great artist, so don't let not being able to draw put anyone off, because mine is very childish. But I don't care. It's mine, I like it. So this is my July picture. It's a rose, and I'm not very good at colouring in. I'm not very good with blending. I'm going to improve. Hopefully, as the months go by, you'll see an improvement. And this is my Christmasinjuly page. Oop, and there's glitter falling out of it. Anyone who knows me knows I love a bit of glitter at Christmas time. And so you might have seen some of the projects that I have planned. And right, oh, I'm hot. Even though it's grey and overcast today, it's still very close. But it's not as hot as it has been. It's been unbearable, to be honest. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 proper projects for people. Well, not proper, I have 5 projects, and then I have a project that I'm going to make 3 of for different people, and then I have a special request from Father Christmas too, and the project, the crochet project that I've been working on, that is a new pattern by my lovely friend Davina from Little Workroom Crafts. So you probably know what project I'm talking about with that one. So let's get started. Harry and Jack, they're going to have the same project, and I have made these a couple of times for Harry in the past, and they have been passed down to Jack. And they are the adorable kids fingerless gloves. And there's the pattern there, and in my notes it says who they are. Wei S. Leong. It's a really nice pattern. It's a free pattern on Ravelry, and it does different sizes, and you don't have to add stitches to make the larger sizes. All you have to do is increase the needle size, so that's nice. And for Jack being little gloves for, well, he'll be 3 at Christmas, I'm going to use 2.25mm needles, and for Harry being 8 I'm going to use 2.75, and hopefully they'll both fit. And the yarn is from Shaw's, which is a Marriner's yarn, and they are now doing a sock yarn, and it's called Cozy Toes. It's 4-ply sock yarn, and it is 75% merino wool and 25% nylon, and it is really nice. It's lovely and soft. Now this is for Harry because it's grey, dark grey, and a paler grey, because I just thought he would like a more grown up colour, and the colour is koala. It doesn't say on the ball band the colour. It's a shade 2305, so I thought that would be nice for his fingerless gloves. And then for Jack, he's having this brighter, more cheerful colour because it's the same yarn, because he's going to be 3, and I thought he would much rather that colour. And this colour I know is called Parrot, which is very apt because anything you say Jack repeats like a parrot, so perfect in every way. And this is shade 2429, and it's red and purple and grey, so I thought that would be nice for him. I don't want to do the same colours for both of them because even though they're different sizes they may look similar and then there'll be arguments, and it's better for them to have completely different colours and for them to know exactly which one's which. Right. And then Martin said he wanted me to make him something. He asked for a scarf. Now, a scarf is what you start learning to knit with, maybe. And I thought, that's a bit boring, isn't it? Scarf. I think he was playing safe and just keeping me sweet by asking me to make something. But I decided I'm going to make him a cowl instead of a scarf, because he probably wouldn't even know what a cowl was, so he wouldn't ask for one, would he? And I found this pattern, and it's called the Travelling Cables Cowl by LJM Designs, and it's a free pattern on Ravelry, and I like that. It's sort of cables but a sort of twist to it. I don't know if you do real cables, or yes, there's a cable needle you need, so I have no problem cabling, so I thought that would be really nice. And I've looked at some of the projects on Ravelry, and I think this is a perfect pattern. I know people have problems with Ravelry, but one of the things I like is if I see a pattern I like to see other people's projects just to see how they work up. Now the yarn, I thought, as it was a Christmas present, I would get him a nice indie dyed yarn. Now I have got him this is from, this is the yarn here, and it's from A Little Bit Sheepish. I think the sun, even though it's grey day, is reflecting. It's superwash blue faced Leicester Aran yarn. It's 100% British wool. The only problem, well, it's not a problem really, I'm quite lucky because Martin said he would like a scarf in blue or grey. Now on the picture on Etsy this looked blue, and the actual description is dark blue grey, but to me this is completely grey, different coloured greys, but I still like it, and grey is his favourite colour next to blue, so it makes no difference to me. But you do have to be really careful when picking things online if you're you really want a certain colour, because you might not end up with the colour that you want or that you see on the screen. And they do say they try and make it, it's really, I know it's the camera, it's the computer you're looking on, but it did look very blue. But still, this is going to be lovely, and he does like grey, so he probably have preferred this grey to the colour blue that it looked like anyway, so that's all good. I was going to say something else then and I forgot. I don't know. It'll come to me after I finish recording, I expect. So that's his project. Right, now the next one, I don't want to offend anyone, but I got this book a while ago, and when I showed it, my sister-in-law said, "You've got to make me and Steve something out of that." So I'm going to for Christmas, and it's the Nudie Knits A Naughty Knitted Noel by Sarah Simmy. And I'm going to make them the large fairy to go on their tree. Right, let's see if I can find the little fairy. Now, she's a bit rude, so I don't want to offend anyone, so if I put my hand like that, you get the general idea. It's a fairy, and she doesn't have any clothes on. But this book is just full of double entendre. It's funny. If you take it in the spirit it's meant, it's quite funny. And the village that they live in is called Woolly Bush, so that tells you something, doesn't it? And for example, if you were looking at the skills level, they're just funny little things. You're reading. There's lots of patterns in there, and some of the patterns are really good. They're not all naked people, but you can make. There's some things that I could perhaps make for the doll's house and things like that. You know, that little cake is knitted, and the balloons are knitted, and they do the paper chains. They're knitted and things. So there are other things that you can make. But there's a story that runs all the way through, and you can't help but laugh out loud to some of the things that's said. But say, for example, if Harry read it, he wouldn't. It's not rude, so he would just read it. But then we, with our dirty minds, read it, and it's a bit tongue-in-cheek. But anyway, I hope they're going to like that fairy, and I expect a photograph of it hanging from their Christmas tree. Something woolly is making me itch. And then my sister-in-law Sue, or Auntie Zoo as the children call her, said she would like a cat igloo for her cat Oggy. Such random requests you get. So I found a free PDF pattern online from So Can Do, and I have cut out the templates for that, and they're just in there, so that's nothing to look at. And she had said that she would like it in greys or blues, because Oggy's colouring is a bit like that. Firstly, I would have chosen colouring to go with the living room. She chose colouring to go with the cat. And now the cat isn't blue, but when I was looking through my stash, I found I had quite a bit of this left over from when I made Josh his laptop case. And I'd also bought this fleecy fabric to, I had meant to make some hats for Harry and Jack, the ones that you make in a tube and then cut and fray like a sort of pom-pom thing. I never got round to it, and I thought that fleecy fabric would be nice on the inside, nice and cosy for the cat. And you need, the supplies you need for that are some interfacing, some fusible something or other. That's obviously why I put the pattern pieces in here, so I could tell you. So you need some single-sided fusible foam and some wide fusible fleece. So I'm thinking I'm going to Birmingham NEC, there's a craft show in November, so I'm thinking I might wait till then and look for that there, and then if I can't find it there I'll buy it online, and I've still got plenty of time to make it before Christmas. Right, so they are all the sort of the patterns that I had thought of and had requests for, and then I decided on a little gift I'd make for a couple of people. Now, most of you, if you were crafters, probably know about the kitchen sink shop and the year of dishcloths that has been running all this year. So if you sign up to the kitchen sink shop's newsletter, you get a free pattern every month to make a dishcloth, and the patterns are really pretty, and I've been saving them, but I haven't made any. But I am not going to make them as a dishcloth. I want to make them as a face cloth, or as we call them here at Gaga Knits, flannels. Does anyone call them flannels anymore? So I've decided on 3 of the patterns that I'm going to make. I'm going to make 3 flannels for 3 different people, and then when I go to either the craft show in the NEC, I'm also going to Malvern Autumn Show in September, and they have lots of stalls there with handmade things. I want to buy some handmade soaps, so I'm going to have a flannel, handmade soap, maybe something else in a little bundle, so I thought that would be quite nice. So I'm going to make an icicles flannel, not dishcloth, the ripples flannel, and the bloom where you planted flannel. And I bought some yarn in a craft shop in a local town in the indoor market. There's a little wool shop, and she sold these cotton yarns. This one's called Shamrock Yarns. It's 100% cotton, and it just says colour 12 there, made in the EU. Oh, if I tip it that way, you can just about see the name, Shamrock Yarns. This is called Ice Yarns, I think. So there's a sticker over the top, and it's 100% Mercer-sized cotton. I don't know what that means. There it is. Nice purple. Wonder who a purple flannel could be for. The person will know. And then I've got a nice navy, which is Cotton Kings, and this is also 100% cotton, so that's good. That's what I want. I'll turn it that way. Cotton Kings, there we are, navy blue. So I've just got to match the pattern with the yarn. So that's all those. And, oh, you could see in front of me, I've got piles of stuff everywhere. Because I was doing my Christmasinjuly plans, someone must have sneakily told Father Christmas about it, and that I was planning my makes for Christmas. And he has asked me, would I make 2 little jumpers for Harry and Jack's Elf on the Shelf elves? And I said, of course I would, Santa. Who could refuse Santa anything? Anything to help out. He's going to be very busy, and he just thought that would be a good idea. So I looked on Ravelry for a pattern. Now I found a pattern. It's called Elf on the Shelf, and it's a superhero bat jumper pattern. But I printed the pattern off. The pattern didn't come with a picture, so I will show you. I'll put the picture online. Picture on here, and I printed it off at home, and there's a chart to do the bat, although I'm not going to do the bat anyway, so it doesn't matter. I'm going to knit the jumpers in the same yarn as I'm making the boys their fingerless gloves, because you know, them elves on the shelves can match them. But look what happened when I printed the chart off. Now I don't know if that is a problem with our printer at home or if it's a problem with the pattern, but either way there's no information on that graph. But it doesn't really matter because I'm not using it, and I can't remember if it was a paid for pattern. I think it was just a couple of pounds, but I'm thinking it's probably my printer more than anything. when I go into work next week, I think I'll try and print that page off, because if there is an issue with the pattern, obviously I will tell the designer, because it's not very nice if you haven't got the... It can't be an issue with the pattern, because I'm pretty sure I've seen people's projects with the bats on it. It's probably my printer. Like I say, it doesn't matter for me, because I'm not going to put the bats on. So, order for Father Christmas. He's keeping his beady eye out, and the elves are watching over all the children to make sure they're behaving now. I know they do it all year, but they step it up a bit from July on. And my last project is the one I'm going to do for the house, Christmas decoration. It's already in a Christmas project bag, hoping to put all these projects into Christmas project bags and then keep them in this box. Is the crochet pattern that is from Davina, Little Woodland Crafts, and it's the folded crochet Christmas tree pattern, and it's a crochet pattern, obviously, because it says crochet. What was I going to say? So it's a Christmas tree. You need to use, well, I'm not going to say the right cable hook, because you're supposed to use DK weight yarn, but I wanted to make it, I knew the perfect yarn when she said she'd made this pattern was this that I've got, and it's from Ellie from Tith and Bryn, and it is her, let's see if I can find it. Where are my notes? Oh, I can't find it. It's called Vintage Christmas Green, I think. It's her 4-ply, and I write it all in the notes anyway, and the Selena is in it, and I made my Mount Pleasant tea out of this yarn, and it's lovely. It's lovely and soft, and there's all different greens in it. It's just beautiful. So, although you're meant to use DK, this is 4-ply, and then I've got the other colours are just from Stash. I don't know where these are from. They're 4-plies, but they were just for heels, socks, heels, cuffs, and toes. Heels, cuffs, and toes. These were for. So they're my 3 colours, and then you make these little crocheted. Oh my goodness! I haven't even finished that one. I thought I'd finished them all. To keep. Obviously stop mid. You can see how organised I am, can't you? These are the ones I've made so far. I've made a few. And you make these triangles, and then you have to do a special fold up thing to turn them into the actual tree. You have to make, I think you make 10, and I've made 3.5. And I'm using a 3mm needle. Yes, I think she says a 3mm needle for DK, and I'm not a brilliant crocheter, and it's really quite small, and so even though I went down to 4-ply, I decided to stick with the same size crochet hook. Now this is the one I was using, but I find I get cramp holding that because it's so thin. So I sent for the clover. There's the box. Can I find the clover hook? I sent for this hook. This is the 3mm as well, but it's got a much chunkier part to hold, so I don't get cramp. But since doing that, since having this, I've only done half a triangle. It's not good, is it? It's a beautiful pattern, really well written for a beginner even. Well, like me, I have made several things, but I'm not confident crocheter. So they're all my patterns, my plans, and they were all in here. And then each page, each pattern, I've set up a page ready. So I put some little tags with some glitter, and the little strings for the tags are the actual yarns that I'm using. So I thought that was quite a good way of recording what yarn I'm using. Obviously it says in there as well. So that's Harry and Jack's. And then I've got Martin and Stephen Janine's. And these were the yarns for the large fairy, which I forgot to show you. So I went back to the wool shop in Bridgend Market and got a ball of King Cole Cherished baby double knitting in champagne. It looks cream now, but it's a little bit, oh, look at my red cheeks. It's like a pinky cream, so I thought that could be the fairy's body. It's meant to be all in double knit, so I have no idea how big these nudie knits things are going to work up. And then the hair is meant to be in DK as well, but I'm going to use this super chunky and then split the yarn because I like the hair to be a bit mad and frizzy. And I've bought a couple of balls of this, also Marriner yarn from Shaw's, because I wanted to make Jack a lion's hat, well, a lion hat for his birthday in November, but I will maybe talk about that next month if I get a chance, because all these patterns, I'm not going to do all these projects straight away. They're just, I'm going to put them all in their project bags, hopefully with their needles and the notions and whatever else, and see what things I'm missing, what I need. I need to make 1 or 2 more Christmassy project bags, or maybe I might treat myself to a few, so that they've all got their own bag, and then I can dip in and out as I please, so that there's no pressure, and by the time Christmas comes, hopefully these will all be done and I'll be feeling very smug. So that's everything. Last week or the week before, Martin and I went for a nice walk. We went to Puthcall, which is a seaside town near us, and we walked to they've done up the walks along the coastal paths, and we walked the Rest Bay walk, and we took some photos there, so I shall put those on the end for you to enjoy. So until I see you next month, have a lovely month. Bye for now.